The dog that this man adopted eats his leftovers every day. It eventually evolves into a generation of Demon King. The bamboo he uses to make a fire is a treasure that others seek for their whole lives. He is called Nathan and reborn in Otherworld. He was abandoned by the system. In the 5 years since he was reborn, the system has transformed him from an underachiever into an overachiever. He is proficient in playing musical instruments, playing chess, calligraphy, painting, physics, and chemistry. He intended that the system could train him to become immortal and reach the peak of life. But with a drip sound, his immortal dream was shattered. The system has detected that the host is already very perfect, and there is nothing more for this system to teach, thus it will be disbanded. Goodbye. This is a cultivation world. If you don't teach me some immortal techniques, how can I survive? Nathan had no choice but to bring his robot and a purebred mutt he found by the roadside. He found a secluded mountain top and lived a self-sufficient life. He was afraid of being accidentally killed in a battle involving the immortals one day. On the other side, 2 girls angrily walked up the mountain from the foot of the mountain. A delicately dressed girl angrily said, "My father insists that I marry Luke, which forced me to run away from home." This is Tsundra princess, who was forced into marriage, with 2 people walking in front and behind. In no time, they arrived at the mountainside and looked up. An ancient and picturesque building caught their eyes. The princess was very surprised why there would be a household in such a desolate place. There must live a reclusive sage here. With that, she prepared to knock on the door. She also reminded the maid not to address her as princess. She walked up to knock on the door. Princess knocked on the door a few times, and the door opened. Nathan stuck his head out from the door. "It's been 5 years, and this is the first time we've had a visitor." Princess saw someone coming to open the door, and immediately started introducing herself. "Hello, I'm Stella, a simple and unassuming young lady with no background." Nathan looked at the elegantly dressed beauty. He thought to himself, "Could it be that the system is giving me a girl?" He immediately invited her to come inside. Seeing the courtyard's landscape design made this well-traveled princess marvel in amazement. Whitey cuts a watermelon to treat the guests. Before long, a completely white robot appeared. Carrying the cut watermelon, it came out and spoke. "Welcome, everyone, please be my guest." It doesn't matter if it doesn't speak. When it spoke, it frightened Stella and the maid, causing them to panic. Stella was secretly amazed. Is this an artifact spirit? But could an artifact spirit with such high intelligence be an immortal artifact? Nathan on the side explained, "Don't be afraid, young lady. This is my butler named Whitey, and it's a robot. You can think of it as a smarter toy, a humanoid weapon with intelligence. Somehow, this thing is just a toy in his mouth. This is clearly an immortal artifact, Stella." The more she thought about it, the more shocked she became, and a hint of awe arose in her heart. After the watermelon was placed on the table, Nathan invited Stella to taste it. This is a watermelon that was just picked from the field. Stella on the side was thinking that she doesn't usually eat such a common melon. But today she couldn't lose face for Sage, so she decided to just eat some casually. She looked at the flesh of the melon, shining like a ruby. Stella was secretly surprised. She opened her mouth and took a bite. Instantly, a strong fragrance exploded on her taste buds. This almost made Stella moan out loud. The watermelon juice flowed down smoothly. She felt the juice turning into chi spreading throughout her body. The next moment, she felt a rush of heat throughout her body. Endless chi exploded suddenly. With a light hum, she completed foundation establishment at this moment. Stella's expression completely changed. She instantly turned into Nathan's little fan. She has been trying to establish a foundation for 3 years, but without success. Earlier, she had a cultivation breakthrough in foundation establishment effortlessly after eating a piece of watermelon from Nathan. She immediately walked up and held Nathan's hand, saying, "Thank you, Senior, for giving me the watermelon to help me have a cultivation breakthrough." Nathan thought to himself. It's just a regular melon. Why is everyone so excited? But I am happy that you all enjoy eating my melon. Nathan turned his head and shouted towards the backyard. Blackie, come out and enjoy some melon. Soon, Blackie rushed out. Nathan casually threw the watermelon to the dog. Stella widened her eyes and couldn't help saying, Isn't this too wasteful? This is a watermelon imbued with Taoist aura. Just given to a dog like that. Nathan explained that he doesn't have it here, but there are plenty of fruits and vegetables available. Stella said, then took out the jade her father gave her when she came of age from her waist. She handed the jade to Nathan. He accepted it as a token of eating watermelon. Nathan couldn't refuse and said, If the lady wants to come eat watermelon in the future, you are welcome anytime. Stella has a good understanding and has already established a good relationship. She left with Maid. And on the other side, 3 cultivators looked at Nathan's mountain and said, A demon has appeared here. The leopard demon in front of them was still arrogant and unruly just a second ago. The next second, it turned into a pool of mud. However, the one causing this scene was actually a mutt raised by Nathan. On that day, Nathan was fishing in the yard. However, after a while, Nathan still hadn't caught anything. He looked at Blackie nearby and said, I release so many fish fry into the pond every month. How come I can't catch any fish? Did you secretly eat them all? At first, he even released a gold carp into the pond. But now it's gone. However, Blackie was shaking his head frantically, seemingly scared. Nathan looked at Blackie, who was still eagerly offering help, with suspicion, but after a moment, he decided to let it go. He would go down the mountain tomorrow to buy some instead. The next day, Nathan arrived at the fishmonger's place. Upon seeing Nathan, the other party immediately said, Nathan, why are you here to buy fingerlings again? I've been raising fingerlings in the pond, but I still couldn't catch any fish. The fishmonger asked if you have confirmed the water quality, environment, and feed. Everything seems to be fine, right? At this moment, the fishmonger quietly leaned in and said to Nathan's ear, It shouldn't be possessed by a demon, right? Hearing the word, demon, Nathan was so scared that he shivered. Nathan, I happen to have an elephant tortoise here. You can release it into the pond. If it is safe and unharmed, it means the pond is safe. If it doesn't come out of the pond at noon, chances are it has been eaten by the demon. So, consider this as having scouted the path for you. Upon hearing this, Nathan was about to buy it. However, the fishmonger insisted on giving it to him. Nathan was just about to leave when he saw an old lady crying. Nathan was greatly surprised to hear that her daughter was captured by a demon. He couldn't help but think of the angelic young girl who always calls him her brother whenever he sees her. Nathan said, I will go bring her back. When he arrived in the woods, Nathan trembled with fear. However, for Lily, he still walked in without hesitation. He raised the princess-given jade that made him frightened. The last time the girl gave him the jade, she said that anyone from all corners of the world would give him 3 points of face. I wonder if it works for demons. At this time, he found the mark left by the cultivator on a tree. Nathan was still delighted at the thought that he could rely on the cultivator to deal with Lily without having to do anything himself. When he was about to call Blackie back, he found Blackie running frantically ahead. Nathan felt a chill in his heart at this moment. Are you rushing over to your death, you silly dog? At this moment, the 3 cultivators were surrounding a leopard demon in the middle. The leopard demon looked at the 3 of them and said, I'll reluctantly add a dish for you today. The cultivators were about to form up to deal with the leopard demon. However, it was just a matter of a brief encounter. 2 of them were defeated immediately. One of them fell to the ground and kept yelling, Lillian, get up quickly and defend yourself. Before she could make any response, the leopard demon appeared in front of her again. Her 2 senior brothers are anxious. If you dare to harm my junior sister, you will have nowhere to be buried. The disciples of our sword sect will not rest until you are dead. What do I have to fear in the wild mountains and remote hills? Just when the leopard demon was about to eat Junior Sister, it suddenly realized that someone was approaching. The three people were overjoyed. Is someone coming to rescue us? But when they saw who the person was, it turned out to be a mutt. Leopard demon took one look and immediately relaxed upon realizing it was just a mutt. But at this moment, the mutt unexpectedly spoke in human language. Leopard demon, do not force me to take action. Choose to end this yourself. The leopard demon didn't waste any more words at this point. It directly unleashed its strongest move against Blackie. However, his strongest strike was unexpectedly swallowed whole by Blackie. Just then, Blackie let out a satisfied burp. Just then, Blackie began to take things seriously. My master is coming soon. I won't waste my time talking to you now. The next second, the whole sky turned dark, and Blackie transformed into a huge claw. It immediately slapped towards Leopard Demon. Just one move. It resolved the previously arrogant Leopard Demon. At this moment, the cultivator suddenly knelt down before Blackie, expressing gratitude for saving their life. Blackie turned around and said to everyone, "Please get up. My master enjoys experiencing life as a mortal. Remember this, the leopard demon's death has nothing to do with me. When my master arrives, you cannot mention anything about me. Remember that you treat my master as an ordinary mortal, and treat me as nothing more than a common mutt." The three of them thought about its master. What an astonishing and remarkable person he must be. They quickly responded to show that they all remembered. Nathan ran over from a distance at that moment. The crowd was excited. Is this the big shot? The three disciples of Sword Sect have not had the chance to pay their respects to the sage. They saw Nathan slap Blackie with one palm. This really shattered the three people's worldviews. What kind of sage would treat the immortal dog Junior Sister like an ordinary animal? Senior brother, that's the divine dog with paws that cover the sky. Even our master may not be able to handle a strike from those paws. Then you are underestimating master. Lillian, Junior Sister, master is the Sword Sect leader, and surely can withstand that strike from the dog's paw. It's just a matter of recovering from the injuries for a few months. They observed Nathan for a while. But no matter how they looked, there was no sign of any spiritual energy fluctuations. He's just a mere mortal. At this moment, Nathan turned around and looked at them. He suddenly grabbed the hand of the eldest senior brother and introduced himself as Nathan, thanking the three young heroes for slaying the demon. But when he heard this name, he suddenly understood. Isn't this the meaning of staying in the world? No wonder Sage chose to hide in the mortal world. Sage truly lives up to the name Sage. The only female cultivator at this time greets Nathan and introduces herself as the daughter of the Sword Sect leader. It's truly fate that I can meet you today. However, I haven't finished speaking yet. Nathan was immediately drawn to the nearby demon's body. He happily said that the golden money leopard used to protect animals in its past life. The other three people were confused by what he said. At this moment, Nathan saw a peanut-sized object floating above Demon. He curiously asked what this was. At this point, one of them explained that this is the Demon Core, which can be used to enhance cultivation achievement. Nathan looked like a curious baby. He had only seen it in TV dramas from his past life. It turns out it's such a precious thing. After that, he stuffed the Demon Core into Lillian's hand. You guys have to take good care of it. But senior brother said that it was purely luck that we were able to kill the leopard demon. We cannot expect to obtain the Demon Core. Since you have destroyed the leopard demon, the Demon Core naturally belongs to you. However, in Lillian's eyes, she believes that Nathan is testing her honesty. If she accepts this Demon Core, she estimates that her fate will not be good. She was about to reveal the truth immediately, but was interrupted by a bark from Blackie. Blackie then barked several times at Nathan in succession. He seemed to understand Blackie's meaning. He said, "The Demon Core is for you. Give me the leopard demon's body." We want to taste what a golden jaguar tastes like. Upon hearing this, several people reluctantly agreed to Nathan's suggestion of letting him eat the leopard demon. At this moment, Nathan happily exclaimed, "Great! Blackie's body is so heavy. You carry it." Blackie was dumbfounded at first. Immediately, it turned its head and glanced at the three people next to it, giving them a meaningful look. The three people were directly startled by this sharp gaze. So they naturally ended up with the job of carrying the corpse. Lillian on the side kept inviting Nathan to visit the sword sect whenever there was a chance. Nathan was truly overjoyed. He couldn't help but wonder if all cultivators were this friendly. When the three of them returned home with Nathan, they saw Whitey welcoming them at the door. They were once again shocked, thinking that this was the artifact spirit. Nathan had to explain that it was not the artifact spirit. This is just a special trick. Does this scene have to be performed for every guest who visits? But in their eyes, to have such a high-spirited artifact spirit is just a small trick. Is this the world of the sage? When the three entered the house, they were once again shocked by the interior decoration. The perfect squares and circles. The floor smoother than a bronze mirror. And this chair is so soft. It feels like grabbing its own buttocks. Is this the world of Sage after a moment? The eldest senior brother couldn't contain his curiosity and asked Nathan what this was. The two of them were secretly excited. Archer finally asked the question I was just thinking about. What exactly is this thing? Oh, this is an air purifier and humidifier. Its function is to make the air fresher. It's more than just fresh. He hadn't finished speaking when he suddenly fell down. He was puzzled why senior brother pulled him down. Are you crazy? Mutt said. The sage wants to experience the life of a mortal. We have to treat him as a mortal, Sage said, to become fresh. Then it can only be fresh. Nathan introduced at this time. The water here has also been purified by a water purifier. But when the three people saw this water, spiritual water chi is simply a divine thing. It is said that the three disciples of the sword sect were shocked by everything here after Nathan. Nathan then went to the backyard to prepare food. At this moment, Archer found a scroll in a trash can. Several people opened the scroll out of curiosity. As soon as they opened the scroll, a sword and tent containing Tao rushed towards them. They were wondering why Nathan would discard such a treasure. Nathan happened to walk over at that moment. Senior brother said, "We touched your belongings without permission. We apologize for being rude. Please don't be upset." To our surprise, Nathan said that it was his own sketch. The three of them were shocked to the point that even their spirits almost disappeared. The sketch actually contained the Tao sword and tent. Senior brother suppressed the excitement in his heart and said, "Since it's just a draft, could you give us this precious draft as a gift?" Upon hearing this, Nathan was surprised that someone actually liked his draft. He immediately felt embarrassed and said, "If you like it, just take it. Why bother with giving or not giving? This is really embarrassing." As soon as the three of them heard this, they immediately made a big gesture to express their thanks, fearing that Nathan might change his mind. They immediately bid farewell and left. Nathan watched as the three of them hurriedly left. Nathan was speechless too. Is this what a cultivator looks like? He saved Lily without expecting anything in return. They only took a broken painting. Compared to their high moral standards, I fall far short. No wonder the system says I lack the talent for cultivation. Right? Blackie. Blackie just glanced silently at Master. Inwardly, he was extremely speechless. The next day, Nathan was preparing to enjoy the leopard meat. At this moment, a knocking sound suddenly came from outside the house. He opened the door and saw that it was Princess and her mother. Seeing Nathan's appearance, Princess's mother inwardly wondered, "Is this Sage?" Nathan was surprised that this young lady's mother did not appear very friendly. However, she is a beauty, so it's okay if she's a bit fierce. He immediately invited the two of them inside and invited them to have lunch together. When she saw the robot Whitey, Her mother looked at her daughter in horror. Princess, however, took it in stride and said, "These are just common little gadgets in a sage household. My mother is really making a fuss over nothing." At this moment, Whitey saw Princess approaching and greeted her. Her mother saw Whitey chatting and laughing with her daughter. She was actually very shocked. What kind of artifact spirit not only cooks, but also knows how to charm girls? Compared to the treasure of the imperial court, it's just trash. When a Michelin standard grilled golden leopard steak is served on the table, the two of them shamelessly ate with gusto, completely disregarding their image. In no time, the plate of leopard meat was devoured by the two of them. Seeing that the two of them had almost finished eating, Nathan suddenly asked, "Is there something going on that brought you here today?" At this moment, Princess said, "Nathan, to be honest, I am the Grand Princess of the Heavenly Dragon Immortal Dynasty. I made a sudden visit today because I do have a favor to ask." She continued, "My father Emperor ascended to the throne not long ago. The imperial power is unstable. Now, two powerful ministers hold great power. We are suffering beyond words. Father Emperor is compromising under duress. As a last resort, he is considering betrothing me to the son of one of the treacherous ministers in order to seek temporary peace." Princess saw Nathan's calm expression without any surprises. She immediately thought it made sense. Nathan is a sage who must have already seen through everything. Nathan, on the other hand, thought to himself, "Isn't this just the intrigue drama often shown on TV?" Then he continued, "Although I don't know much about your political structure, but at least I can tell one thing. This is the plot of a TV drama." This remark left the mother and daughter looking utterly baffled. "What is that?" "What I mean is this kind of plot. I have seen many versions." They, however, believed that Nathan had witnessed countless changes of dynasties. Princess became excited at this time. "Now, please give us guidance, Nathan. What should we do? Have you ever heard of the sequential stratagems?" "We have never heard of it. Please elaborate, Nathan." Nathan says that both of them have never heard of it. "Then let me show you. I'll start by using the strategy of creating something out of nothing. You first release a rumor. The rumor is to choose the Imperial Master's son as the Imperial son-in-law, which is the Imperial Master's intention. The purpose is to befriend the Emperor, and to infiltrate the power of the court into the royal authority. You then use the sowing discord strategy. Princess and the Chancellor's son have a friendly and harmonious conversation, indicating mutual affection and agreement. However, you tell the Imperial Master's son, "It's all because Chancellor's son is constantly bothering me. His father is also planning to sabotage our marriage." The son of the Imperial Master will surely be furious. Go back and tell his father. In this way, victory is assured. You only need this final plan. Watch the fire across the river. You will see the fishermen benefit when the snipe and the clam fight. Empress, that's really brilliant. Nathan felt secretly pleased. Solving this kind of problem could be easily done with just a few pages of paper. Empress couldn't help but feel scared at this moment. Just a casual stratagem from him can stir up a bloodbath. He can control the situation effortlessly. This is terrifying, too terrifying. I must not become enemies with this person. Nathan has been staring fearfully at the elephant tortoise in the pond at noon every day in the past few days. The elephant tortoise has been alive and well for several days in a row. This should indicate that there are no demons in the pond. Just thinking about this makes Nathan feel great. He went back to take a nap while humming a tune. Blackie and Whitey looked at their own master like this. They couldn't help but be speechless. The other three sword sect disciples on the other side took Nathan's draft and immediately rushed back to the sect. On the way, they met fellow sect members fleeing, and only then did they learn that a major incident had occurred at the sect. They had not finished speaking. They saw the sect leader coming with a sword energy. "What are you doing? You shouldn't have come back. If you don't leave, I will make you leave." At this time, senior brother spoke. "Master, please listen to me. We have obtained a treasure this time. Perhaps it can help us get through this difficulty. The treasure is this scroll. We encountered a sage on this journey whose dog can defeat a demon with just one move. He also has a square box that continuously produces chi, and he uses spiritual water for drinking and tea brewing on a daily basis. This scroll is what he gave us. However, the sect leader said, "You've been deceived. How can you believe in such far-fetched stories? You are too naive." After saying that, he grabbed the scroll from his daughter's hand and threw it up in the air. He was about to destroy the scroll. Just then, a person walked out of the painting. With just one finger, he stopped the sect leader's sword. The next second, a strong energy surged straight into the sky from the mountaintop. The fleeing members of the sect in the distance thought it was an earthquake. However, this was actually the sect leader's cultivation breakthrough. He only took a glance at the painting. Sect leader had broken through from nascent soul to soul projection. That's great. Master strength has greatly increased. Even tomorrow, they will have a good chance of defeating the sword demon. But they haven't been happy for long. They saw the demonic sword inserted on the roof soaring into the air. It turned out that sword demon came in advance after sensing the movement. Interesting. It's the first time I've seen a cultivation breakthrough on the brink of battle. The two engaged in a fierce battle on the verge of breaking out. However, even the sect leader after the cultivation breakthrough is still no match for the sword demon. He was defeated after just a few moves. Just as the sword demon was preparing to leave, he heard the sect leader say, "If only you could spend 2 more days to comprehend the scroll, I'm sure you would be able to protect the sword sect. It's a pity, just a little bit more." The sword demon suddenly appeared in front of the sect leader, grabbing his collar angrily. "You said I was just a little bit short. How did I defeat you in an instant just now? Don't you realize it yourself?" He took out the scroll belonging to Nathan and said, "Although your sword intent is strong, compared to the author of this scroll, you are like dust." The sword demon grabbed the scroll. He opened it and took a look. Immediately, he became furious and destroyed the scroll in anger. Later, he unexpectedly cried and said, "How is it possible for someone in this world to draw such sword intent? This must be fake." Immediately, he unleashed a raging demonic flame. "Take me to see him. I want to kill him." "I will take you to see him. But you must promise me. Spare the disciples of the sect and my parents." "That's not acceptable. I can only promise you to spare them. Kill the artist of this painting first. Then come back to kill them." In the end, Lillian had to compromise. She said to the sect, "Even if Nathan blames someone, it's my responsibility alone. I will take full responsibility. It won't involve the sword sect." After saying that, she mounted her sword and went to Nathan's residence with the sword demon. After a long time, the two of them arrived at Nathan's doorstep. At this moment, she found that her parents had also followed along afterwards. Her parents said, "No matter what the outcome is, the 3 of us will bear it together." At this moment, Sword Demon saw the broken house and felt calm inside. He didn't sense any spiritual energy fluctuations inside. At this point, he arrogantly shouted, "Sword Demon has arrived. Those inside should come out and kneel to greet me." After a moment passed, there was still no response. Lillian asked in confusion, "Could it be that Nathan is not at home?" As soon as she heard, "Not at home," the sect leader immediately panicked. "Then aren't we in trouble?" At this point, Sword Demon didn't care anymore. He unleashed his strongest attack towards the courtyard. However, his attack was blocked by a golden protective shield. Just as Sword Demon was puzzled about the situation, a huge phoenix suddenly appeared behind him with just one strike. Just now, the once arrogant Sword Demon was beaten to a pulp. Then, they saw the phoenix transform back into a jade and hang it at the door. The 3 of them saw Sword Demon looking directly at the opponent's face. He was instantly killed by a jade. They were shocked and speechless for a moment. "This is an unparalleled sage," Lillian said at this time. "Mom, Dad, let's run while Nathan hasn't come back." The two of them were greatly shocked. It was only then that they immediately realized it was better to run away quickly. Lillian was also ready to take the demonic sword with her. She was promptly stopped by her father. It is the demonic sword itself. Although it can quickly enhance the user's strength, the cost is the erosion of one's mind, turning them into a monster consumed by killing. Since Sword Demon was killed by Sage, the equipment should be picked up by Sage as well. Saying this, the three of them quickly flew away on their flying swords. Only one demonic sword is left stuck at the doorway. Speaking of which, after Nathan returned home from chopping firewood, he found a sword stuck at his doorstep. He picked it up casually and found that the sword was quite sharp. Great, he decided to use it for chopping firewood from now on. Just then, the artifact spirit of the demonic sword quietly emerged. It bewitched Nathan, saying, "Young man, you crave power. You desire to be unrivaled in the world. Do you want to stand at the top of the world? Do you crave endless wealth? Do you desire to possess beautiful women from all over the world? Do you want to wipe out past shame? Do you want to step on those who once looked down on you?" However, when these words reached Nathan's ears, he thought that there was a mosquito flying around. Artifact Spirit saw that its deadly triple attack did not have any effect on him at all. Could this person be a dead fish lying flat? After returning home, Nathan threw the demonic sword and firewood together in the woodshed. It feels humiliated. The artifact spirit suddenly appeared. It looked at Nathan as if he had just walked out of that door. It suddenly flew up and was about to go out to teach him a lesson. But it was suddenly hit by an attack. Its bones almost fell apart. It immediately hid back into the demonic sword. After a while, Little Skeleton reappeared. It was terrified and asked what kind of thing had just attacked me. It found it was a brush hanging on the wall, but upon closer inspection, it turned out to be a wicked brush. How could a mortal's home have an immortal artifact that is of a higher level than mine? This must be a coincidence. I just need to bypass this calligraphy brush. So it replanned its path. It stealthily jumped onto the cabinet, preparing to leave. It didn't expect that even the cabinet was an immortal artifact. When it tried crawling forward on another route again. But it was dispersed again by an immortal artifact of unknown origin. Little Skeleton suddenly cried with sadness. What kind of place is this after all? After a long time, Little Skeleton decided to try again. Just as it was getting excited about going out, it was suddenly bound by something. It was still wondering what was happening. A young monk suddenly appeared in front of it. Little Skeleton asked, "Who are you?" The young monk chuckled and said, "I am the Lankavatara Sutra." Little Skeleton angrily said, "Whether you're a pen or a cabinet, even a tattered book dares to toy with me." It immediately went berserk and rushed towards young monk to attack. But it was immediately slapped in the face. Little Skeleton cried sadly again after being slapped. At this point, young monk said, "How about it, fellow believer? Can you think things over now? If you convert now, there are many benefits." Suddenly, a despairing scream from Little Skeleton came from outside the woodshed. At this moment, Nathan was leisurely watering the flowers. Suddenly, rustling noises came from behind him. He turned around to see that it was an elephant tortoise. He saw Elephant Tortoise Nathan and couldn't help but exclaim. It had only been 2 weeks, and he had already grown so strong. But then, he suddenly realized something wasn't right. This seems to be growing too fast. Could it be that the fishmonger gave me a very precious species? At the thought of this, Nathan immediately felt happy and wanted to thank the boss. However, at that moment, in the depths of the pool, a huge tail suddenly flashed by. Nathan quickly arrived at the fish stall. Nathan excitedly said to the boss, "Last time you gave me that elephant tortoise, it's awesome. In just 2 weeks, it grew almost as tall as me." The boss, however, thought Nathan was exaggerating. "But my fish is even better than that elephant tortoise," he said. "The prince of the immortal dynasty wants to eat my fish. Everyone has to fight for it." After listening to the boss's description, Nathan finally understood. It turns out it was Stella. She actually implemented the plan so well. Just as Nathan was about to leave, he suddenly noticed that paper money was falling from the sky. It turned out that it was Rowan from Chin Mansion's funeral procession. The neighbors are all discussing. Rowan is such a kind person. She was about to give birth. It's gone in a flash. A joyous occasion turned into a sad event. It's really a tragedy. Nathan wondered why she was fine when she went to the city a few days ago. How come the funeral happened just a few days later? After listening to the neighbor's explanation, it turns out she died from childbirth complications. At that moment, Rowan's body was carried out. Everyone bowed their heads in silent tribute as they bid farewell to Rowan. But at that moment, Blackie suddenly started barking wildly. Nathan was just about to scold Blackie. He then heard Blackie barking at Nathan a few times. Nathan was greatly astonished. Just as people were preparing to cover the coffin with boards, Nathan spoke up in time to stop them, saying that Rowan was not dead yet. Butler was shocked. How did Nathan know? However, Nathan immediately hugged Blackie and said, "My dog told me." Butler was speechless for a moment. Nathan Chin Mansion has no grudges with you. Please do not make jokes at a time like this. But as he looked up, he found that the person was gone. Nathan had already arrived at the coffin. He was carefully examining Rowan's condition. He unexpectedly found that Rowan was in a state of suspended animation. He finally confirmed that Rowan was not dead yet. Nathan just turned around and said, "I can save Rowan." He saw the servants picking up weapons to hit him. They asked him to stay away from Rowan's body. At this point, Austin stopped them. He asked eagerly, "Nathan, joking aside, is my wife really saved?" "Yes. Please let me give it a try." There was a moment of silence. Austin agreed to let Nathan give it a try. But the surrounding crowd thought Nathan was being reckless. Before long, they saw Nathan take out a scalpel and arrange everything properly. He even put on his mask and gloves. Everyone was wondering where these things came from. The next second, amidst everyone's shock, they saw Nathan take out a huge surgical light from his pocket. Nathan whispered, "Luckily, the system malfunctioned. It left the space for me." He was also grateful that in these 5 years, the system had taught him modern medicine. Seeing Nathan's move, Austin and the servants are sighing that Nathan is really amazing. We need to believe in him. But as soon as they finished speaking, Nathan cut open Rowan's belly. Austin was anxious at this time. Did I make an irreversible decision? Not long after, Nathan called for a midwife to help him. Nathan told the midwife, "I'm prepared for a cesarean section. Take the baby out." The midwife was stunned. Just as she was in a daze, Nathan successfully took the baby out. He asked the midwife to help him cut the umbilical cord. But the midwife was so scared by the scene that she was shivering all over. Finally, with Nathan's encouragement, she successfully cut the umbilical cord. The midwife looked at the motionless baby, wondering if the child was really alive. Next, Nathan instructed the midwife to hold the baby properly. Then, he took out a silver needle and pricked the baby's fontanelle. The next second, the air was filled with the baby's crying. Austin was amazed. "My son is alive." He hurriedly held his own child and excitedly thanked Nathan repeatedly. Everyone exclaimed that Nathan is really amazing. At that moment, Nathan noticed that the servants were covering the coffin boards again. "What are you doing while I'm not paying attention?" Madame sacrificed herself to give birth to the young master. "We really can't bear to see her body exposed like this." Nathan was furious because she isn't dead yet. She has been eviscerated and still not dead. When Nathan stitched up Rowan's stomach, Rowan miraculously cried out in pain. The servants were excited that the madam had actually come back to life. "Now it's fine. Hurry and take your madam back to care for her properly. Honestly, she almost died in your hands." The crowd immediately surrounded Nathan and praised him. This made Nathan feel a bit embarrassed. At this moment, inside a room in the distance, Lingyun Immortal Pavilion's divine maiden Ivy is looking at this scene. She said, "Interesting. At the beginning when he started lifting the coffin, I thought he was just a swindler from the Jianghu. I didn't expect that he actually managed to revive the dead person. Even if there is spirit medicine, it is very difficult to achieve. Interesting. I understand now. This is the reason why you refused help from Lingyun Immortal Pavilion. The Heavenly Dragon Immortal Dynasty is hiding a big treasure." The princess sitting across immediately became nervous and said, "I don't know him." "Stop it, Your Highness Princess. Stop pretending. Look at his gaze. It's full of affection. It says it all. Come clean. Who exactly is that man? A month ago, you said Chancellor and Imperial Master were more threatening, requesting help from Lingyun Immortal Pavilion. After I arrived, I found that this is not a threat to you at all. This is clearly you playing with the two sons of the Imperial Master and the Chancellor. I boldly guess it was this sage who helped you solve the dilemma, right?" Princess nervously said. "No, it's not." She was interrupted before she could finish her sentence. "It's not nothing. Stop pretending. I've already figured it out.